These are my mini gardens, and today we're going to show the results. And this is just the beginning. Wait a minute, do you see something that I don't see? Now remember how I make these? I make them out of shoe boxes for $1, or I make them out of the boxes, the clear ones that are just a little bit bigger and will cost you $3. But in the meantime, you're going to grow how much money in food in these things? It could be $50, $100 worth of food, and it could go on for years. And on top of all this, I'm growing all this food among hundreds and thousands of birds that we have here that have come to congregate in my garden. It's not easy when they love greens, and they also eat insects too, which helps. But they are not touching my plants. Not the birds and not the insects. Nothing. And how am I doing this all? Well, there it is, my mini gardens. So let's go through the results and let's talk about the failures in here as well as all the positives going on and how we can make it work just perfect for us to keep on growing with tips and tricks. Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California, and I'm sitting here in front of my garden. This has been a fantastic garden. Now, yesterday I did my first big harvest. I mean, I come through here all the time and I'm picking lettuce. Let's take the top off so you can see what's going on. Is this not gorgeous? This has been so good that what is in here that isn't in here? What can I do with this that's so different than the other gardens I've got around here? Let me tell you something. There's no insects in here. All I had to do was just pick my lettuce, bring it in and rinse it. I know nothing's crawled on it, nothing's touched it. I have to be careful leaving it open too long because if I do, a white fly or something could fly in there. So you want to service your garden, and when you're done with it, after you've watered it and everything, close it up. I can't say enough good things about it, but I will tell you some stuff that I messed up, and I'll give you some pointers on that in a minute because it really might help you. It doesn't matter what size you use. Now, these $3 containers, these are Tulle, and I get that from Walmart. I'm sure you can get it from Target and so many other stores have been the best. It's a strong plastic. It works fantastic, and it's long lasting. And best of all, Sterlite's in the United States, the whole company. These are made in the USA. The ones in the back are from Dollar Tree, and they work great too. The plastic's a little different. It might not last as long, but it works fantastic. That one's $3 and this one's pennies under $3. Can you imagine? The United States is cheaper. Whether it changes or not, it doesn't matter. To be honest, I'd pay more, but don't tell them. This garden is working better than I thought. I've got a shoebox here. Look at this. I'm starting my seedlings in here because the birds eat my flower seeds. I'm going to start them in paper cups, and when I'm ready, I will take them out with paper cup and all and pop them around the garden. Meanwhile, everything is lettuce except for a little pepper plant growing in there, and I've got dill. Though I am growing some on the deck with cilantro and different things in it. Now let's go over some of the questions or thoughts you may be having. Why do I put my lettuce in cups or separate containers? Why don't I just plant 8 lettuce in the box itself? Well, if I did that, there would be competition. There's already competition. Do you see it? I'll show you in a minute. Look, look, look. There's competition going on there. The moment you give a plant, especially vegetable plants, competition, the strongest will survive. Well, I want almost all of them to survive. I'm stingy on that. And you are probably too. Though it doesn't matter if you're happy with smaller plants, they're still edible and they're still fantastic. So by putting 1 plant per container, and look how small the container is. And you can see I've been harvesting. All the lettuce on the bottom is gone. Look how big this plant has gotten, and it was much bigger before all the leaves were taken off. Let's just sit it there for a minute. 1 plant has no competition, and all it's going to do is grow. But when you put more than 1 plant together, like this one, that has 2 plants, see that? Now look and see what's happening. They're smaller. They're trying to make room for each other. Plus, they both want to survive, so they're staying smaller. So this way there'll be enough room for their roots. So that's a big thing. So keep in mind, 1 plant, they'll grow bigger. Look how big this is. 1 plant. Look at that. And there's still leaves gone out of that. Okay, that's one thing. Now, the other thing you want to do, we're going to go over little pointers, especially if you're growing lettuce, but this goes with anything you could be growing in here, parsley, cilantro, dill, herbs. When there's leaves in here that you're not going to eat, the best thing to do is remove them, because even though this looks yellow, it's still flexible, see? It's still pulling water and food sources for this leaf until it's completely gone. Take it off, compost it, put it in your soil. Maybe not in here right now. Just find another place to put it and put it somewhere else. This is my favorite garden right now. That's a big pointer to look at. Now, another thing is, if you're going away for a day, you know that lettuce has to be continuously watered. And yes, I have made my mistakes. We'll talk about that again in a minute. You could put on the bottom, because I don't put holes in mine. You can do yours with holes. Everything I do is just to give you an idea. It has nothing to do with telling you this is the way to do it. There is no this is the way. You're going to do it the way it's going to work for you. So I do not put holes in mine. Now, I could theoretically put some water in here because the cups on the bottom have holes. So if the plant starts to dry out, the soil itself will start to suck the water up. So you could go away for a couple days and your lettuce or whatever you've got in there will be fine, as long as your containers, individual containers, have holes on the bottom. Now, like I was saying, had I put 8 plants in there, I would have ended up with 8 small plants, probably something about that size. Still edible, kind of like microgreens, but the thing is, why not put them in individual pots where they can get nice and big, and then you have more to eat. You could put bigger pots in here, of course. You could make your tops taller. Look, that's the one I made on the video. That was without the fabric. This one's with the fabric. You know how I'm making those. You can check the video out. And then, of course, I used a tote lid there, and if you want to see me do that, let me know and I'll get that together. And look how big that is. My goodness, I think I can grow a cauliflower in there or something really big. No zucchini, that's a little too big, unless you got the dwarfs. But right now you can do lots of things in there. Perfect for plant starts, but I want to grow certain things that I want all the time. And lettuce is nice because it's expensive. Now let me tell you about another mistake I made, a big mistake. I need to open this up periodically and get in there and water my plants. I'm going to tell you, this is not an advertisement for this, but I saw this thing on Walmart. I stumbled across it, and I've got a lot of ideas more than using it as a water can. And I thought, okay, it's a kid's toy. This is a kid's toy for gardening. It must be really tiny. I thought it'd be the size of my hand. The turtle and the elephant are just as big as my other watering can that's sitting there. This is the cutest thing. And you know what's nice? Even though I will tell you the turtle is cuter, but the nicest thing about this is look how I can reach in and water each individual container and get right to the base of the plant and know exactly where the water is going. This has been phenomenal. I mean, that is the greatest little thing. But I have to open this up and water it. I got lazy. So when I put the video together and I started getting all my lettuce in here, and I have been harvesting, but not every single day, I was watering through the top. And what I didn't know is I missed a lot of them. Not a lot, a few in each one. And they started to dry. Now, of course, the lettuce was still fine. I took it out. It was a little wilted. You know, it wasn't as nice as this should be. And I went ahead and had a great salad. But I now have stressed my plant. It may go to seed. If it goes to seed, then I'm going to have to start over, which is fine because I'm going to do this with a lot of plants. I'm going to, check them out. And as they get bigger, I will start to get new plants in here, rotate them through, and be ready with more lettuce. Now, many of you know I'm growing lettuce in my dog kennels. They've been there a while. They've been growing for over 3 months, probably 4 months now, the same plants that I'm harvesting from. But if you let them dry out and you start watering them again, the plant gets a signal, there's something happening, I'm not going to survive, it's time to set seed. You can still eat it, but the best thing to do with those is take them out, sit them somewhere, and let the bees and the hoverflies come in, do their thing, and you'll get more lettuce seed and put a new one in there. This has been phenomenal. I know a lot of you in Hawaii have told me you've got these snails that if they get on your plants, you cannot even eat the plant. You're done with that. Snails don't even like crawling on tulle. Occasionally, yes, but a lot of them will turn around. I've done some testing. No birds are getting in here. My goodness, this is my bird garden. Hundreds and thousands of birds travel through here. And believe you me, vegetables are the hardest thing to grow in here. They're always attacking my greens because the birds love tender greens too. I know anybody can do this. This has just been so great. But I wanted to share with you my first big harvest. Since it's only been put together not even a month, it's going well. And I'm going to tell you that I've got a lot more coming on this because I found some fantastic tables I'm using. They're so cheap. I'm going to be setting up so many of them. And I love the idea that they're totally portable. The sun starts hitting this too bright, I move it. It will take me minutes to move around the yard. But this has been my favorite garden when it comes to coming out here, harvesting some lettuce and going in and having a nice big salad like I had last night. I'm just waiting for more tomatoes, but I do have a few around here. So please ask your questions because they really do help me generate these videos because I know what you want and what so many people are looking for. So have a great day. I'm so happy you're all here watching, and so many of you have come in to say your gardening days were over and they're back. You betcha they're back. They weren't over. All you had to do is find another way of doing it. And now you know that this is an easy way. So with that, have a wonderful day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. And you know what's nice? I can reach in here. I don't even have to wash it. I don't recommend that. I always rinse it. But the idea, nothing has been in here except for me. Bye-bye. One last note I wanted to talk about. Remember I put a tablecloth here and I put some tulle here? I'm going to have to say it worked fantastic. I've had no rodents, no birds or anything even come onto the table because they don't like the feel of the tulle, especially your furry critters. They don't like it because of their tiny nails. So if you're having any issues, just cover a layer of tulle, and then I clipped it on like this with these paper binders, and then it won't blow off. And in the meantime, it keeps everybody off. It's worked for me, and it should work for snails as well. That just keeps them off your table. Tip of the day. Of course, I've talked about this before.